Hi, my name's Kiki. I'm the Executive Director at Thinkersmith, and today I'm going to show you how to make some supplies. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an activity that I like to do with grades 1 through 12. Sometimes it doesn't work as well in first grade, but if you have a really good attentive class or a little more than a half hour, then this should be plenty. I generally don't do this with kindergartners though, because they're really trying to still grasp the concept of numbers and sitting still, and it can be a little too much, and the pieces are pretty tiny. We're going to make a little bit magnet. We're going to make a magnet using our binary conversion of ASCII, and you can get this online, and you can get the large display grid online as well. Thinkersmith.org/TSTC, and that's all in capitals. It stands for Thinkersmith Traveling Circuits. Okay, so what we do is we give each student a 1-inch square of quad grid graph paper. That means that there are 4 squares per inch, and that gives us room for 2 letters. So we cut that out and we have them choose their 2 letters. Usually they'll choose their initials. And so go ahead and color the grid paper with whatever letter it is that you chose. My grid was rearranged there. Okay. So you color your graph paper, and once you have your graph paper the way you want it, or your student has their graph paper the way they want it, you can take one of these wonderful inventions. They are 1-inch epoxy resin squares, and they're self-stick. So you can take it and you just peel it right off. I usually cut these into individuals, or if they're sitting in pairs, I'll leave them in groups of 2. And you just peel one off, and then what I like to do is just take the side and line up one side and just lay it right on there, and you end up with kind of this beautiful shiny domed thing, but it's still pretty flexible, and so this by itself doesn't have much durability. So I will take this 1-inch strip magnet and cut it into 1-inch squares. And again, I'm not perfect with it because I'm usually doing so many at a time. But I take the magnetic square, and it is also self-stick, which is a beautiful thing when you're working with young children. And you peel off the backing, and then you simply just place the bits that you colored on top of that magnet. And in such a small amount of time, you end up with this little craft that your child can put on the fridge and use for years and years to come. It will remind them of the lesson that you did with your binary encoding.